And all right, go again.
Okay, keep talking and testing things out.
Good.
Yeah.
There we go.
My name is Michael Pallas. I've been working at UNH for 25 years. I did my PhD here and also worked full-time as a research scientist. And right now I'm an associate professor in the Department of Earth Science with a focus on geospatial and remote sensing analysis. So besides doing research, I get to teach, and I also do service for the university, sit on committees of students, graduate students, work with students that have a capstone project, and also sit on things like department meetings and university committees. So the work I'm doing now is going back a little more towards carbon science and forest ecology. And that's really what my interests were starting when I was an undergraduate. I took a forest ecology class and it really clicked with me. I started out in engineering school at the University of Virginia and was unhappy and tried a few different things and ended up double majoring in archaeology and also in environmental science. I did my master's at the University of Virginia as well, and I looked at howler monkeys in Costa Rica, looking at their habitat or their niche preferences. And I got to be on a beach for 3 months at a time, walking into the woods during the day to study the monkeys. One memorable experience was the bioluminescence of the water when I went swimming in the evening, so that was pretty darn cool. One thing that you learn from fieldwork is patience. Often things break or you're waiting for a ride, and that is often a time to think and sit there and look at your surroundings. Not sure I would have that same ability with a phone in my hand all the time now, but at one time, not only were these places remote and sometimes dangerous, but they were really cut off from family and friends. So our work involves taking pictures of the Earth, whether it's from satellites that are developed by NASA or the European Space Agency, airplanes, and more recently drones over the past decade. 2 projects that we have that are using drones. One is looking at a permafrost collapse in Sweden. We've been flying drones there for 10 years. The technology's advanced massively for the drones, so we used to just put up a digital camera that you could buy at Best Buy on a kind of fixed wing styrofoam plane. Now we have drones that have what we call hyperspectral sensors. They divide light up into 271 little individual bands, thermal imagery cameras, and also LiDAR, which shoots lasers and gives you a 3-dimensional view of the canopy that you're looking at. Another project is looking at moose here in New Hampshire. My research group, along with Remington Mall, who's a professor here in natural resources. We were flying drones to use thermal imaging to try to find the moose and do a moose survey. So I have 2 full-time employees that are research scientists. 3, they've been working for me for 13 years. They're outstanding both technically and working in the field. They know more about some of the equipment and some of the techniques and analysis that we do better than I do, because as I teach, they're having the chance to still learn new things, and I often learn from them or ask them questions. One of the things about research also is that we try to work in cool places with cool people and cool projects. And that also percolates into how we want to interact with each other. We have longtime collaborators that we've been working with for 10 years, 12 years on projects. And these long-term collaborations build kind of a really nice groundwork for science. I think the students coming in today have a much better understanding of environmental science than I did as a student. It's considered just a small section of biology when you took that class. I love talking about the things that, kooky stories to get people's attention, kind of a little bit of my own work, but I also like learning about other people's work or projects. So as you sit and listen to other people talk about their research and you start to think about collaboration with them, some of their work is really fascinating. So you get someone who's talking about wildlife ecology, or even someone who's talking about kind of the bacteria that is creating methane from permafrost collapse. If someone's passionate about something, it can really click with you as yourself. And I try to bring that into the classroom. The other thing is when students get into learning, sometimes there's a little bit of hesitancy in a science with non-science majors. But I swear that the students that take some of those classes like Earth and Film end up knowing as much intro to environmental science as someone who's taken kind of a course in that department. I love the Seacoast area. I love University of New Hampshire. I'm also really amazed at the kind of quality of students here at UNH. The ability of the university to offer research opportunities or projects for students is much better from what I remember as a student. Maybe I didn't take advantage of them, but the quality of students here is quite good, and it makes it pretty fun to work. And the grad program here is one of the best in the nation too. So.
If you could hold this up to this camera and tell us a little bit about this.
Like look right at the camera?
just
Yeah.
hold up, just hold up.
Okay.
Maybe look at me.
So I do music as a hobby. I named my music group back in 1994 Horchata when I was in Costa Rica. This is an album I did in 2001, back before vinyl was cool again. And I've been doing music for as long as I can remember. I love synthesizers and making weird sounds. So I probably have about 8 synthesizers, a big old modular synthesizer. And as much as I like kind of finishing music, I also just like tinkering and getting things to work. So this music you can find on Spotify, and I'm also on Bandcamp and also on Apple Music. So that's Horchata. Horchata is a nutmeg and rice drink from Latin America. It's a great hangover cure, and I just thought it was a neat name. So
We appreciate your time.
sure,
Thank you,
cool.
my friend. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
All
There
right.
you go.